Amateur Night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Amateur Night during the day. I'm your host, Frosty, here with my man, Jakey Muffins. Jake, you got an interesting camera angle today for an interesting baseball game.
Yeah, a little bit different than the first 2 weeks, but a cinematic shot for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Francis Ford Coppola actually called me and asked me if he could borrow this for his upcoming film about baseball, and I said, why not? So, as you can see, they're already warming up on the field. The home team today is the Pendleton Penguins, the team that we follow here, but they're taking on the defending champions. As you can see, 3-0 Monarchs, as we see a handsome fellow walking by here. Big game for both teams. As we talked about last night on our podcast, the game against the Stealth, even though you're wearing your Stealth shirt, which looks amazing,
Yeah.
didn't survive the cold and the rain, and neither did the Penguins. Only having 8 players show up, they had to borrow a player from another team. Ended up losing that game 19-9 in a game that I would say neither team is frankly very proud of, but they got through it. Sometimes that's what you got to do. The weather didn't cooperate, but they played anyway. Today we're in beautiful Brunette Park, home of Cathedral Baseball High School, so shout out to them. Let's real quick go through the starting lineup for the Pendleton Penguins. Look at these graphics, man. I'm killing it lately.
Absolutely.
So two people of note here. Batting first today, leading off, is Antonio Ochoa playing second base. He played for a team called Del Caribes last year, was looking for a team called the Penguins, and the Penguins picked him up. And then batting eighth is Jake Heller, another guy never played in the IBL before, played some college ball. So he's in the lineup as well. So we got 2 new additions in the starting lineup, which will be interesting. And then we see, obviously, the rest of the order looks fairly familiar to the first 2 games. We see Agrawal playing shortstop, White today catching instead of EHing. Both the first string and second string catchers were unable to make this game. And so now we've moved to a reserve catcher. Steve Studda in center field. We remember him. He hit the massive home run in game 1. Corey Versina, which I don't think we've seen yet, playing left field. Ricardo Jimenez. And then we have Sam Jordan on the mound. So going with number 11, first year player, pitched pretty well in the first 2 games that we saw. So he's going to get his first start as a Penguin today. Ryan Rufer in right field, and then Tony Safranek, returning All-Star EHing. So that's our lineup today. What are you looking forward to most in this game, Jake?
Yeah, it'll be a good game. I mean, obviously, Penguins are on a little bit of a slide here too. The last 2 games they dropped started off with a win though. Looking for some good pitching here. Even though they dropped the last game, pitching defensive wise, I think the Penguins played pretty well.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think it comes down to whether or not the offense will perform or not. We've seen streaks in that first game where they played really well, and then obviously shut out in that second game, and then in the third game, even though they didn't have their starting lineup, really, in that game, the Penguins, no player was playing their normal position in that game because they had so few players. Still scored 9 runs against a really good Stealth team, and so now they'll take on the defending champs who are undefeated, a different beast altogether. So we'll get this game underway. Slightly askew for us, and we'll see how it goes. So Sam Jordan getting his first start. I'm excited to see Sam start. He's come in as the second guy the first 2 games. As we get strike 1, looks like he'll settle in here. The first couple games, he was. I don't want to say he was wild because he wasn't, but did sometimes lose the strike zone for a batter or 2 before getting it back. Hopefully, it gets off to a good start today. So that's ball 1. Interesting fact: we're seeing Derek White catching. Derek's has been the first baseman for the Penguins since their very first game in the league. Hurt his arm last year, picked up increased pitching duty. Hasn't really been able to play the field as we get a fly ball to right field, and that's an out. But anyway, his arm has been pretty banged up, but can play in limited capacity. So we'll see how that affects stealing today for the Monarchs, if they know that at all about Derek. Derek did pitch an inning or 2 innings actually in that rain-soaked game against the Stealth. Didn't give up a ton of runs, played pretty decently. No earned runs, but gave up a couple runs due to errors. We see a ball there. Derek wearing double zero. Our right fielder, Ryan Roofer, also wearing zero. In baseball, those are two different numbers, just like in NASCAR.
Yeah. You don't see too many zeros in baseball, though.
You really don't. That's a ball. Emergency catching duty has to be really hard for someone to step in if you haven't done it a lot, just because it wears on your legs, on your body, especially as you get older. Now that Derek's old, but he's an adult now, not a kid, right? Catching. And Sam throws a lot of pitches down with a lot of movement, a lot of velocity. As we see a fly ball into center field, center fielder ranges over. That's out number two. So two quick outs there for the Penguins. Brings up the 3-hole hitter here for the Monarchs. A lefty, number 4. Pitches the ball. Got us. We've been hit for the first time today. Just want to tell you, I did not set up this camera, so don't blame me. Actually, I think the Monarchs set this one up. No, actually, it was me. I lied. Now that I think about it, that's ball 2. This is the last game, I think, with the tripod, though, before we moved on to the fancy fence device. Comes the pitch. Swing and miss. Strike 1. I rated that one at 148 speeds. Pretty fast pitch.
Sounds about right.
Yep. Not the fastest we've seen. The record is 175 speeds, but pretty fast. Strike looking. Good pitch there by Jordan. Here comes the pitch. That's a ball. First baseman called it a strike. Wasn't called a strike with him, though. Honestly, I wish Ricardo were the umpire for these games because he always goes with our guys, you know?
Yeah, I think you have a few more strikeouts.
Yeah, for sure. That's strike 3, so that'll end the inning. 0-0 Monarchs and Penguins, bottom of the first. Good start there by Sam Jordan. Get 2 fly balls, easy fly balls to center field and right field, and then the strikeout to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, as they say in baseball. We move on to the bottom of the first. There's a game. I don't remember if we recorded it or not, so maybe we'll see it later in the season. But there's a game where Ricardo actually calls a strike when a guy gets hit in the knee, um, which is a unique call, to say the least. Are we getting our first fill-in catcher of the day here? No, we're not. We're getting regular catcher. Okay. I thought number 14 was coming in to fill in maybe, but regular catcher is there instead. So, 14's going to the mound instead. That would have been awkward if he had to catch and pitch. Looks like a bright sunny day in Indiana. We don't get many of those, Jake. It's not like Florida.
Yeah, that's the norm down here. I mean, you get rain and storms too occasionally, but normally it's sunny out.
Yep, we don't have a whole lot of sun in Indiana. It's usually gloom, which matches my mood, so it kind of fits.
Yeah.
But nice sunny, not too hot. I think it's low 70s here.
Yeah, I know back up in the Northeast, Pennsylvania and New York, we would say it's gray out. It's
Yeah,
not
gray.
sunny, it's not
Yeah, yeah,
cloudy, it's just gray.
yeah. That's a really good descriptor. Yeah. We see Will Prine working his way over just past the fence area to our right, to the first base side. He will be the first base coach today. Will Prine actually coaches high school baseball as one of his side gigs. So an experienced first base coach over there. It's one of the things we've noticed is not everyone can coach the bases, especially third base makes a little sense. You got signs, you're looking for tag ups, you're looking at, watching the runner at second base to make sure he doesn't get picked off. First base isn't super easy either. You know what I mean? You got to be super vocal about whether to stretch it out for a double. You're the point man really on pickoff moves, right? On fly balls, depending on, where it's hit on the field. So it's not a job where you just stand there even though it looks like it sometimes. And we found not everyone fits that job, but Will does an excellent job at first base to make sure that he's vocal and everyone knows what's going on the bag. I gotta tell you, love the Monarchs name, love their jersey, going with the old Negro League team. Paying homage to that league, which just recently got recognized as a Major League Baseball league. Well overdue. And glad to see that happen, and glad to see this team honoring that team as the catcher is angry and walks off the field. He quit the game before it even started. Antonio Ochoa, his first at bat of the season. Last year hit 356 for Del Caribe, which was a really talented team that aren't in the league this year. And so we're happy to have Antonio on the Penguins. First pitch. That's a ball. Antonio hits one into left field. Will it drop? It does. That's a single for Ochoa, batting 1,000 this year. As he gets on the base on only the second pitch. Nice little blooper into left field or left center. Really, the center fielder had no chance at making a catch there. And now Alex Agrawal will step up. Agrawal looking to move the runner over. Here's the pitch. That's strike. Looked low from here, but it was a strike call nonetheless. Comes the pitch. That's hit to the rolling ground ball to the third baseman. He goes to second for one. No throw over to first base, so they'll just get the one out there on the fielder's choice. Hit slow roller to third base would have been really tough to turn to, even for a major league player. So good job to get the lead runner there at second base. A lot of times you see those, the third baseman will charge in, but third baseman here was smart enough not to go just to first, but to go to third or second instead. Derek White up now. He fouls one off. White yet to hit a home run this year. He's the career leader for the Penguins in home runs. When he hits them, though, he hits them far. So be on the lookout. Pitch nearly hits him. Common refrain there. We got ice. Make sure you take that ball and get on first base. Don't be ducking out of the way. And the pitch. Derek hits it into right field. That looks like that's going to drop. It does. Right fielder picks it up. Agarwal only able to move up one base, however. And runners on first and second with one out here to start for the Penguins. Good start. All three guys putting the ball in play. And now Steve Stunda comes up. Stunda hit the home run game one. First home run of the season. Well, second home run of the season. I'm sorry. The first one went to Ricardo Jimenez a couple innings earlier. Second home run of the season for the Penguins. And so far, last home run of the season for the Penguins. So we'll see if he can do it again. I think he'd be happy with a single here to score a run, to be honest with you. Takes a strike there, right down the middle. That's a ball. It's one there. That looks like that's going to drop as well. It does. Drops in right center. Runners aren't able to score there. They get the play at second. He's safe. Runners aren't able to score there. Everyone had to stop because that ball, it wasn't clear if that ball was going to drop or not off the bat. It does, though. And now bases loaded. Nobody out. One out, I'm sorry, for the Penguins as Corey Versina comes up. Went back and looked at my notes. This is his second game of the season. He did play in game two last week that we watched. So it's ball one. Checks the runners. Now he throws inside. That ball's hit to left field. That drops. So the Penguins will get a run. Corey will try to stretch it into a double. He does. So runners on second and third base, but the Penguins open the scoring. Something you like to see after getting shut out the last game we watched. So good to see the Penguins get on the board here. Even though there was a game in between where they scored 9 runs, but still for us, it's good to see, you know? Carter swings at one there, fouls it back for strike one. Still only one out here. And the pitch, it's low for a ball. 1-1. Ricardo's got the power here. If he can get one up in the air and into the outfield, likely scoring Derek White from third base with only one away. He takes another ball. That's ball two. That one is also foul, so we'll get to a 2-2 count here. One away. Carter's been a great addition to the team this year. It's his first year playing for us, the first year playing in the IBL. Um, Gold glove over there at first base, I think, and a pretty good hitter as well. He takes ball three, full count. He steps back in the box here. Pops one up there. All right. That's out number three. Did we miss an out? I missed an out somewhere. I'm not sure where.
Yeah, we must have missed an out at some point there.
Well, anyway, that's 3
Yeah.
outs. Everyone agrees but us, so I'm not sure where we missed it. Oh well. That's the end of the first inning. Penguins up one. Here in the top of the second against the defending champs and undefeated Monarchs. Good start in that first inning there for the Penguins, a team we've talked about before. They have a history that they're trying to shake this year of starting slow, and I think that was a good way to fight back against that. As we see, they take an early lead. Good pitching by Sam Jordan to start the game, and good hitting by the Penguins. Derek White back out there.
Yeah, I think that was the best start we've seen as far as the games we've had footage for the Penguins to start off with the bats there.
Yeah, totally agree. Jordan starts to warm up here. Again, like for our amateur night, having the mic and the camera so close to the dugouts, you can hear the teams talking. You can hear them talking on the field. That happens in the major league level all the time too. You don't hear it because we're so far away. So it's nice to kind of hear the players talking, going through scenarios we heard earlier. Balls hit to you, go one, that sort of stuff. Really cool to see. Really cool to hear. I think it adds to the game as Penguins look to throw it down here. Let's see how Derek's arm looks. It's the pitch. All right, gets it down there. Number 10 here for the Monarchs. He'll step in the box, face Sam Jordan here. Jordan with the pitch. That's a ball. Got us. Only barely, though. That one barely counts. As we see the on deck player go and get the foul ball that goes in the backstop. Usually, a bat boy in the major leagues. Here, we just have the guy on deck. It's courtesy to go get it. Strike. Okay, ball. That looked pretty good, Jake. I'm not gonna lie.
It was definitely close there.
Yeah, it was. It was. That's a good way to put it. It was close. That was definitely a strike, as he changed his mind halfway through about swinging at that pitch, but it goes through. Gets that call, so that's evens the count at 2-2. Comes 2-2 pitch. Out of the way. We've been clobbered. Still 2-2. Even more askew now than we were. Or maybe not. I can't really tell. Here comes the pitch. Got us again. That's the ball,
Haven't,
full count.
haven't been completely knocked over yet.
Not yet. This might be a short broadcast today if we are. I haven't checked it. I should have checked it beforehand. That ball's hit to right center field. That's in the gap. That looks like a double. It rolls all the way to the fence. And it is. It's a double there for the Monarchs. So they get their first hit of the game. It's an extra base hit. Really well driven ball all the way to the fence there in right center field. Really no chance for either of the outfielders to get it. They did a good job of mitigating the damage by keeping him to a second. Number 6 here for the Monarchs up now. Going to try to score the run here. It's a ball. Gets past the catcher. The runner takes off. Throw down to third. He's safe. So pass ball gets the runner to third base. It's like a batting glove that fell out of the catcher's pocket. Oh no, his foot protector fell off. All right, so we'll pick it up here. 1-0 count. Runner on third now instead of second. Instead of second, not in addition to second. There we go. Who's running this scoreboard over here? That's ball 2. Ball 3. Good block by the catcher to keep it in front of him. So we're seeing, in contrast to last inning that went, I thought, pretty fast for Sam. He's fallen behind both batters to start this inning. One resulting in a hit, and now we're at a 3-0 count. So again, just stressing the importance for pitchers, if you're a young pitcher watching this, to get ahead in the count early. Better set you up for much more success. We get ball 4. That ball skips off the catcher. Runner does not advance, however. That will get the runner to first base. So now first and third, nobody out. So if you're the Penguins here, you're probably still hoping for that ground ball up the middle to roll a double play, let the run score, and trade it for 2 outs. Comes the pitch. There you go. Gets ahead in the count. Strike one. Here comes the pitch. It's outside. Also, if you're watching this, take some time in between pitches. This is really important from this camera angle. Look in the sky. If you see a UFO, report it to us. Uh, you never know, Jake. We got to stay vigilant.
Yeah.
Good pitch there. 37 movement on that to get ahead 1-2. Ground ball to the third baseman. He picks it up. And the Penguins get the double play. Third baseman Jake Heller gets the first ball hit to him as a Penguin in the league and gets the double play, rolls it up right to. I'll tell you, as the manager of the game, I was waiting for this play. I was really excited about it to talk about it because I put these two guys out to start, having never seen them play baseball before. Well, I did see Antonio. We played him a couple times last year, but having really not seen them play a whole lot, and Jake not at all. And then the first ball hit down the line, which is a really good play by Jake there. We couldn't see it well because of the camera angle. He backhands it, throws it to Antonio over at second base, who makes a strong throw to first to get the double play. So at that point, as a manager, I had a big sigh of relief. I got to tell you, when they turned that double play and stopped the run from scoring as well. So super good play by both players. Like I said, big sigh of relief for me that they made the play. That's the ball that scoots back, and the run will score easily there. The Monarchs even the game up 1-1 here. Just unfortunate hop. Went up over the catcher's head. When you're wearing that face mask, you can't really see where the ball goes, so you just kind of look at the ground, hoping that you spot it quickly. There, it bounced a little bit further than and a little more crooked than you would have thought, and makes it really hard to make any kind of play there. So the run scores. Swing and a miss there. 2-2. So yeah, so far managing new guys account for a double play and a single to start the game. Feel like I made some pretty good calls there, Jake. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, definitely played out well so far.
Or at least made some good risks there. I don't know if they were, you know what I mean, like calculated risks. Ball fouled off. This is another game. It's not as bad as the game that we missed with the stealth, where there's only 8 players. But this is another game where a significant portion of your starting lineup is missing. Um, which hurts, right? We're missing Everett Laughlin this week. Sam Moran is missing this week. Tyler Sherrard, who caught game two, as we get the strikeout to end the inning. Um, and then obviously, as well, missing our other catcher, Adam Lesniak, who caught game one. That's significant. We saw Sam in that game one pitch as well, huge arm that we're missing. So, that's how rec league ball goes. You know what I mean? That's how these leagues work. They're Sunday leagues. Guys make it if they can and don't if they can't. Um, and this is another game. I'm really interested to see what happens. You know, the Penguins, like you said, pitching and defensively, the last game were pretty solid. They scored a lot of runs. And the other game that we didn't watch against the Stealth, although most of the runs scored by the Stealth were based off of errors because of people playing the wrong positions, which makes a lot of sense. Now this game, we've seen a pretty hot start pitching and hitting for the Penguins. It'd be nice to see the whole team together to see how well they play as a unit. Pitch there.
Yeah, and I think as far as like filling in and for a backup spot, a spot you don't typically play, I think catcher's got to be one of the hardest ones to do.
Yeah, you in all of sports, I think, not just baseball, but I think catcher or hockey goalie are probably the two hardest, right?
Yeah, that's why you get the extra protection for both of those.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's just it's so bad on your knees being a catcher. I watched this league has a 18 plus, 25 plus, 35, 45, 55 plus. I can't imagine being in the 35, 45, 55 plus trying to catch every week. You got to be in great shape. You're doing
Yeah,
25 plus, but it's still.
I feel like they should get a stool if they choose so at the 55 plus.
I love that idea. Yeah. if they go up, if they ever make a 65 plus league, I just feel like they need to put the like wiffle ball strike zone behind, and if you hit it, it's a strike, and there's no
Yeah.
fun. So Penguins up here, bottom of the second. Stepping up to the plate, looks like Sam Jordan, the pitcher, will hit first. So far, no reports of UFOs, Jake. It's a ball. If someone spots one, we'll start a UFO counter.
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping an eye out.
It's just you rarely get like 2 to 3 hour clear shot of the sky like this. Who knows? Anything could happen. And Sam puts it on the ground, hit to the third baseman. He'll make the throw over to first and plenty of time, and that's out number one. We see Jake Heller up wearing the gray pants. We had to duct tape uniforms together. We didn't have extra uniforms. I had an extra jersey. That's why he's wearing number 99. We expect him to hit like Aaron Judge. He hit that one over the fence, but the wrong direction. So good start. Here comes the second pitch. He hits a little chopper there, a swinging bunt, really. That's an out. So two quick outs here for the Penguins. We'll see Ryan Roofer up. Ryan Roofer in this game debuting the torpedo bat. Bought himself a torpedo bat. All the rage. If you're not a baseball fan, a torpedo bat is kind of shaped like a bowling pin. Is the best way to describe it. Right? It's fatter in the meatier part of the bat. Right? Traditional bats just kind of like start skinny and then just kind of blow up. These kind of have this shape going to them there, so that the fattest part of the bat is where you're trying to make contact. So they're having some conversation here. I'll tell you what the conversation is that the ball, I saw it from third base and I challenged the play, appealed the play. The ball actually hit off Jake Heller's foot, which is a foul ball. He shouldn't have been out there, but neither umpire could see it. It's hard. That's a hard play to see. The only reason I saw it, like I said, is I'm standing on the third base side coaching. Neither of them saw it. When the catcher's trying to catch the ball and the batter's swinging, there's no way for a home plate umpire to see that because we see a strike. So that's what happened there. We lost that appeal. I was right though. But that happens. So we see the swing through there. Strike two. He swings and misses there. So that's strike three. So that'll be the end of the second inning. Penguins Monarchs still tied going into the third. But yeah, so he debuted a torpedo bat there. Obviously, we didn't get to see what all the rage was about because he wasn't able to hit any pitches there. But I'm excited to see how he does. I think a torpedo bat works really well for someone like Ryan. Like, yes, it works for like home run hitters, but even more so, like Ryan is a contact guy. So if he can hit the fatter part of the bat more often, it's just going to give the ball a little extra oomph into the outfield. Or make him hit it hopefully a little harder, which will make him get on base more often. Didn't work there. We'll head to the third inning here. Sam still out there. He's going to go third inning. This will be with this next pitch his longest outing of the season. First two games, he pitched 2 innings each. He actually missed the last game, I believe, because of the birth of his child. So missed that game, didn't pitch in that game. One of the 11 players that weren't able to make it. I think he had a pretty good excuse, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. That's more than a reasonable excuse.
Yeah, yeah. This is his first game back, and he's starting, and now he's going the longest he's gone. But his arm's fresh. Oh, we've been hit again.
We need like a little camera health bar at the bottom.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, we're on our last like, especially if I go back and watch the end of the footage, and I know the camera's gonna like fall down at some point.
Yeah.
That would look great on here, and people would think it's real. Maybe not now because I just outed myself. But if they miss this game, or if they fast forward between innings, umpires talking about how they know I was right, but they couldn't prove it on that foul ball. Sam throws it down. Derek throw down to second. He got it there. I got a feeling Derek's not throwing that very hard unless he has to. That came in at only 47 speed, which is one of the slowest throws we've seen all season. That's a ball. You can't really get a good shot of the park here, but this is a really well done high school baseball diamond. It's got an actual dugout portion, along with like a in the sun dugout portion. As we see a ground ball that's foul there. They got a full bullpen over there. It's a really nice field. Look at that barehanded grab there by the catcher. That's why he's back there. Well, that and because our other catchers aren't here. Comes the pitch. That's a ball. 2-1 count here on number 19. Another foul ball brings us to 2-2. Off pitch comes. That's ball 3. Full count. I was getting ready for him to ring him up there. Didn't work out. That ball's up in the air. Shortstop looks like he has it. And he does. That's out number 1. 1 out here in the third. Number 21 up to bat here for the Monarchs. Strike 1. I will say also Colin Carey, the normal opener. I don't really want to say starter because of the way we pitch by rotation, but the normal opener here for the Penguins missed the last game and missed this game as well. We believe he has an injury to his arm, so not a huge surprise given that he hadn't pitched in a while. Tried to keep his pitch count down nonetheless. He was down, only through 4 innings, but that stuff's kind of typical your first year. So hopefully he gets better and is back on the mound soon. Uh, oh, that looks like a strike, but he's unavailable for this game. So missing him, missing Sam Moran. That's half of the pitchers we used in the last game. So I'll probably see Will Prine again today. And who knows? Maybe even me. So that's strike three. So two outs. Who knows, Jake? I assume I know, but
Yeah, I think you and then whoever's in the UFO in the sky may know.
yeah, they know for sure. I'm gonna Photoshop one in at some point. Here comes pitch. Good pitch there. A little high. I'll give that one to the ump. That one was a little high. Comes the pitch. That's a strike. Good pitch there. Gets the strike there. 1-2. So Sam showing no signs of fatigue here in this third inning. Is cooking. Has this game well in his hand, it feels like. At least so far, he's controlling it well. A little high there. Good pitch, though. It's a tough pitch to lay off of with two strikes. Good job by the batter to do so, though. There's the ball. That's right down the middle, strike three. So that ends the top of the third. No runs, no hits, no errors there for the Monarchs. Two strikeouts for Sam Jordan. Number 47 walks by us, disgusted, I'm sure. Get away. Uh, as the Penguins will come up to bat. Jake, if you're managing this game, how long do you decide? How do you decide how long you're going to keep Sam Jordan out there, knowing you got a whole season to go, but also how effective he's pitching against the defending champs?
Yeah, it's a tough call. Obviously, good job through the first 3 innings. Probably don't want to run him too much longer, but I think I'd let him go out for that fourth inning, see how it plays out. If he looks like he's starting to get some fatigue there, um, you know, then I think at that point you can either sub him after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're kind of in an inning by inning basis from this point out, right? And obviously checking. One of the things I like to do is check to see if pitchers feel good after they're coming out. How's your arm feel? Mostly though, pitchers are liars.
Yeah.
They're always feeling good. So, you got to take that and match it with what you're seeing, right? So, like, if he comes off this inning and you go, "Hey, Sam, you got another one in you," and he says, "Yes," like your eyes confirm that. But, um, you know, there might be a time where those two things don't match up. Throw down here, a little high, gets the job done. Will Prine runs down to first base, and Tony Safranek will be up. Tony, a returning All Star, made his first All Star appearance last season. Take strike one. Tony traditionally plays third base. He's EHing today, letting Jake get a look over at third base. Take strike two. Get strike three. Thought the catcher dropped it. He didn't. That's a quick out. So back to the top of the lineup. Antonio Ochoa, 0 for, or I'm sorry, 1 for 0 today. 1 for 1. Jeez, I don't know what the statistics are. 1 for 1 today with a single. Looking to build upon that here. Top of the order did a lot of damage. Gets a little ahead of that curveball, fouls it off. Did some decent damage at the top of the order at the beginning of the game. So we'll see, that pitcher batter adjustment, who gets the upper hand here. Pitch. It's a ball.
He's got a unique uniform combo on.
Again, yeah, out of uniforms. So he's wearing the black Under Armour shirt and the gray. He fouls another one off. Here comes the pitch. That's outside. 2-2. So far, really patient bat. Like to see that. Is not swinging at a ton of stuff that's out of the zone. He is a little ahead here on the breaking stuff, which you expect your first game. And it's like that is fouled away as well. Waiting to hear if it was caught or not. Doesn't sound like it. Based on the fact that Antonio's still standing near the batter's box, I think he's still got an at bat going. Told that foul ball was a towering one. That's why it took so long. It went up at least 32 height. Um, so pretty good shot. Yeah, good pitch there for the strikeout. That's two away here for the Penguins. See Alex Agrawal step up as he hands the. Was that a UFO? No, that was a. Although that cloud over there is really coming into better view the more this game goes on. I don't know if he does that. Oh, as we see a foul ball there by Agrawal. That hits a bleacher. Curveball hits Agrawal, and he'll go down to first base. Didn't look like it hurt too much. It looks like a little breaking ball on the inside. So Agrawal looks fine, and now Derek White will come up. Catcher, power hitter extraordinaire today. Comes the pitch. That's the ball. Checks the runner. Here comes the pitch. Hit hard up the middle, right to the shortstop. That's out. Number 3. Yes. Okay. That ends the third inning. Still 1-1 in a pitcher's duel, Jake, to begin this one. We go to the fourth. Defending champs up to bat. Decently hit ball, just right to the shortstop, unfortunately, for the easy out at second base. So we'll see if Sam Jordan's coming back out here. I imagine he is. The drama's killing me. So get a good shot at Austin Beaver, the first designated warm-up catcher of the game. Makes sense. Derek White was the third out of the inning, which means he's got to run back and put on all that catcher's gear. And it is Sam Jordan. So he'll throw to Beaver here. Good scoop. That looks dangerous. Beaver yet to make an appearance. No, I'm sorry. He started the game against the Stealth. Went, I believe, one inning in that game. So that was his first outing. Trying to work his way back from a shoulder injury last year. Pitched a couple of innings for the Penguins. Looked really good, but unfortunately suffered a shoulder injury similar to what happened to Colin here. And so he's working his way back, kind of slowly getting into the rotation. So might be someone we see today. Clearly is available because he's there warming up. The pitcher, but pitched decently well against the Stealth. The score was 19-9, which sounds like a blowout, but the Penguins were leading that game through the fifth inning. before the errors finally took over for them. So, decently played game for the first half of the game, and then the wheels came off. But Beaver pitched well in that game, and so look forward to seeing him out there again soon. As Beaver relinquishes the catcher's glove, I gotta think, thankfully, relieves the catcher. As Derek goes and checks with his pitcher here. Umpire taking a second to look in the sky for UFOs.
Yeah, if you've been watching, I think that cloud just disappeared.
Yeah, it's gone. Could have been a UFO.
Yeah, it was a fast-moving cloud.
Yep. Post UFO in the comments.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that streaking across the sky is an airplane, although the trajectory of it isn't promising. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think he's landing. He's flying into the airport.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Let's hope so, or it's going to be a bloody mess. Pitch one, that's strike. Honestly, I'm not sure what's so hard about umpiring. I can do it back here kind of sideways. And I'm always right. So pitch two is also a strike. Okay. I'll take it. 0-2 count here. So seemingly picking up where he left off in the third inning, getting ahead quickly with 2 strikes. And we've been hit.
Oh.
Can confirm that that is not an airplane heading towards the ground, just streaking off into the distance. It was hard to tell from the angle we were at. That's the difference. Comes the pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. He drops it. He's going to try to make the throw anyway. And the runner is safe on the error by the shortstop. Tough one for the usually sure-handed Agrawal. Happens to all of us. And number 25 up for the Monarchs. Here comes pitch. That's a little high for ball one. Definitely a dog barking in the background. Good to hear. Dogs love baseball. Oof. That looks like a good pitch, but it's a ball. If you're a pitcher, you definitely want that. If you're a batter, you know it's a million miles off the plate. Another ball. Well, that's 3-0. Probably taking here out of the Monarchs. So if you're Sam, you're just trying to put one across the plate. Fails to do that as that ball goes to the backfield. Hey, Derek. That's ball four. So runners on first and second now. Nobody out. So Monarchs threatening early here in the fourth inning. Number 4 up now as we see a third base coach for the Monarchs running over to third base now that they need one. Tells you how often the Monarchs do signs if the third base coach only runs over there when there's a guy on second. That's because they trust their hitters. They have some really great hitters in this lineup. So you don't need to lay down a whole lot of bunts when guys are hitting singles and doubles all the time. That's a ball there. Good stop by Derek to keep the runners in front of him. Cloud's back. Baseball gods whispering into our ears here. A lot of folks that don't live in the Midwest don't realize it's really flat here, so it's very windy. There's always wind blowing. It's one of the things I didn't really realize as a kid, but then when I moved to like Denver and some other California, some other places, and came back, I realized it's windy here. So that's a well hit ball. Stopped by the second baseman on the slide, isn't able to stop any of the base runners, but does a good job of keeping the ball in the infield to avoid anyone scoring. So now we have bases loaded, nobody out. Number 10's up. He hit that rocket shot to right center field for a double his last time up. Comes the pitch. That gets by the catcher. We'll see if a run scores here. It does, not quite in time. Hi, Derek. So the Monarchs take the lead there on the outside pitch to make it 2-1 Monarchs. This is a tough situation if you're the manager. You got the one walk, but you also got the ground ball, or I guess two walks now, right? Or no, a walk and a single. But then but he's gotten two ground balls. And so part of it is, do you leave him out there, or are these, is this bad luck also a sign of fatigue? It's hard to tell. One of the biggest criticisms I give myself, however, is I leave pitchers in too long. And so the question is, you know, what's too long now? As we see, the first baseman's moved in on the grass, definitely looking to stop that runner scoring from third if a ball's hit to him. That's ball. Good stop there by Derek. Comes the pitch. Good scoop there. But it's a 3-1 count now. Checks the runner at third. Pitch fouled off. That'll take us to a full count. The pitch. Ground ball to second base. That'll score a run, but they'll get the out at first. So the Monarchs score another one, making it 3-1 here. Good job by the batter, basically doing his job, getting the ball hit on the right side of the field and getting a run in. As the Monarchs extend their lead 3-1 here. So again, another ground ball there for Sam. Good scoop by the catcher. That's ball one. Swing and a miss for strike one. Comes pitch. That's ball two. So an inning that kind of started with an error and has just kind of been a little unlucky for the Penguins since then. Sees them down two with one out and a runner on third. Ground ball once again to the right side. Second baseman picks it up. That'll score another run, however. That's two outs, but 4-1 Monarchs. They've scored three in this inning. getting the ground balls he needs. Unfortunately, just not on the right side of the field. Well, on the right side of the field, not on the left side of the field, if you know what I mean. So, um, unfortunate for Sam, but still pitching fairly well. Ground ball there, throw by the third baseman, gets the out. That'll be out number 3. Penguins down 4-1 to the champs, though. Jake, what are you thinking about pitching now?
I think after that one, you probably consider a pitching change. It's not that he was pitching terrible. It's just
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of fatigue, getting behind on some of those counts.
Yeah, a little less crisp, I would say. But yeah, it's hard when, he got 4 or 5 ground balls in that inning, but that's baseball for you. It's a cruel mistress, that game. So 4-1 Monarchs. They take the field. Pitcher warm up here. So next week we will have another game. Let's figure out what it is while we're sitting here waiting on this warm up. Actually, next Saturday at 1 we won't have a game, or the Saturday after. So we're going to take 2 weeks off after today, due to my travel schedule. And then we'll see the Indy Brewers expansion team come in to take on the Penguins, and what'll be an interesting matchup. We'll miss another game, the Bombers game in between, just because it wasn't streamed. Um, so we'll see how it goes from there. And then the only game we'll have is the one that's being played tomorrow, which happens to be against the Monarchs. So we'll be back on schedule with the Penguins. So obviously we'll have amateur night if they stream, and if they don't, we won't. Although I expect they'll probably stream most of their games from here on out, since I'm the one in charge of it. So is that a UFO? No, that looks like a helicopter. Just making sure. It's easier to tell on my big screen, folks. Don't freak out. It's a helicopter. I can see the blades turning, I think. Although that cloud is gone again. Will Prime
Yeah,
takes first base.
I don't know if it's a camera angle, but that cloud it like disappears into the fence at sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Steve Stunda up, the number 4 hitter. That's ball 1. Swings through that one for strike 1. That's 2 strikes here. Once again, the Penguins, this is their 4th year in the Indiana Baseball League. 3rd year as the Penguins. Their original year, they were the Raiders. Um, won 3 games last year, as the catcher thought that was a strike. It wasn't. Um, won 3 games last year, trying to get over that hump this year. Won 5 games the year before, which is their current record for most wins in a season, 5-11. Most people say that's a strike. As Steve Stone strikes out. Most people I've talked to in this league say it takes 4 to 5 years for an expansion team to start being competitive. This is the Penguins' 4th year, so the hope is that they're more competitive this year, as Corey Sversina comes up. Comes the pitch. That's a strike. We've definitely seen an uptick in talent. This is the best pitching rotation they've had, probably the best offense the Penguins have had so far. As Sversina puts one in the air, looks like it might drop. It does not. That's out number 2. Good play there by the center fielder to get to that one. It's a great play if you're a Monarchs fan. I'm not. But if you are, that's a great play for the Monarchs. Ricardo Jimenez up, batting 5th today. He hits one into right field. That's well hit. It drops. That's a single for Jimenez. First pitch he sees, he takes the opposite way, drops into right field for a single. This game reminds me a little bit, Jake, of the last game we watched where the Penguins scored in the first inning. I'm sorry, the Bandits scored in the first inning and didn't score again for a long time. It's kind of the same thing happening here for the Penguins. Scored in the first inning. We're now in the bottom of the 4th. Sam comes up and he swings through that one for strike one. Kind of this lull in the middle portion of the game that you hope, like the Bandits did against us, picks up as this game moves on. Including right now, Sam Jordan throwing with the pit. I'm sorry, takes the pitch. That's strike 2. So you see him being on the mound, but he fouls one off there. Still 0-2. We've been hit. Still 0-2 on that foul ball. That one had some good reverberation on it. So he takes ball 1 there. And the pitch. Swings and misses on the breaking ball, and that's strike 3. So we'll go to the 5th inning. Penguins leave a runner on first base, down 4-1 here to the Monarchs. We see Jake Heller run some foul balls in. We'll see if it's Sam Jordan or it's not. It looks like Austin Beaver is taking the mound, so making his second appearance of the season. So a little bit of a switch up going from veteran to young guy, or no, going young guy, young guy. So I guess it's still the same strategy we've been using. It's worked once. Maybe we should mix it up. We'll see. Beaver's got really good velocity. His point of struggle has been so far in the couple of appearances that we've seen him in the last 2 years is really getting the ball down and finishing off his pitches. That one looked good there. So a good sign that Austin Beaver might be struggling is if the ball is up continuously. If he gets it down, though, he's got good velocity and good stuff. Hard to hit. We've been hit again. Speaking of hard to hit, get away. Third base coach goes to third base. Throws the ball to the umpire, and he boots it. It's pretty rough. He's now giving the ball a talking to, making sure no one saw that. We saw that, Mr. Umpire. You bobbled it. First error of the game for the umpire, though. Oh, we got hit that time for show.
The ump probably completely forgot about that. Thought nobody would ever remember. Now it's on stream. Everybody will remember.
Yeah,
Can go
the
back
millions,
anytime and watch it.
the millions of people. We're gonna cut it short for it. The millions of people that watch our channel will see this. And they'll wonder who that umpire is, which is why I'm not using his name. I don't think it's fair to him to put that on him. Pitch. Throw down is accurate. 52 speed on that one. Picked it up a little bit. Number 3 for the Monarchs is up, a lefty, batting left-handed, which makes sense. That pitch is up. Ball 1. Second pitch. That's a good pitch there. Strike 1. Good pitch by Austin. Foul ball. And the pitch. All high. Bounces out of the catcher's mitt. That's how much spin that ball had on it. 2-2. Ball 3, contrary to the first baseman's opinion. It looked close, but I think it was a little low. Fouled off. Did that hit the umpire in the head? Looked like it did. That's never fun. Get away from us. That's what the mask is for, though. That had to hurt, though. That was at 156 speed when it hit him. Pitch ball 4. Runner on base here for the Monarchs to start the inning. Good battle, both pitcher and catcher, though. Ball gets past the catcher. Runner will advance to second. We can see Derek's hat has no logo. That's because I messed up the order, and like 7 of the hats have no logos on them. Pretty bad on my part. I didn't read the fine print, Jake. I edited the order, and I thought when I edited it, they'd automatically put the logos. When I just changed the number of hats, they would not. That ball's way high. Runner will advance to third. Anyway, I thought they would just put the logos on the hat. I changed it from like 3 mediums to 4 mediums, whatever. But nope, you gotta start all over when you do that with Epic Sports. So if you're looking to buy custom hats, which is who we use for our instigators gear sometime, Epic Sports. So we gotta remember that. Boy, was I unhappy. Got another ball. And the run will score 5-1. So a walk followed by 3 wild pitches means the Monarchs have taken the lead even further onto their side, 5-1. 3-0 count here. That's ball 4. That one looked close, but when you've thrown a lot of balls, you don't get those calls. Catcher's going to go out for a moment, have a conversation with the pitcher. Probably a good timeout by the catcher. Interesting rule in Indiana Baseball League we should talk about before we move on is that mound visits, you're only allowed one an inning. If you do a second mound visit in an inning, the pitcher has to come out. However, if the catcher does a mound visit like that, it's not technically a mound visit. It doesn't count. So that conversation by the catcher is key because if I'm coming out as the manager, that means that's kind of a warning to the pitcher that if I have to come out here again, you're in trouble, buddy. Which you don't want to give unless you mean it. And he throws a strike there. There you go, strike two. Foul ball. That'll keep the batter alive here. And us. We didn't get hit. Comes the pitch. That's up. 1-2. As I said earlier, this is where Beaver struggles sometimes, right? And like a sign that he's getting a little frustrated, throwing a little, I would say, overthrowing the ball a little bit is when it sails a little high. We've seen that a couple times here in this inning already. Outside, ball two. 2-2. His pitcher's got really great stuff. We know he's got to work through it, getting back on the mound and all that good stuff. So hopefully that happens for him here. That's ball three. So from 0-2 to full count here for the batter. That's ball four. So three straight walks now for Beaver to start the inning. And Corey Kern comes to the mound. Gonna have some conversation here. Let's see if he decides to make a pitching change. Decided to go with third person today, Jake.
Yeah.
It just makes more sense in context, I feel like. All right, nope, just a mound visit. Tell him to throw strikes, probably. And that his hair looks nice. I think it's always good to give folks compliments on their appearance during a baseball game to settle them down. It's one of my manager tips. I used to do it for the instigators all the time. Hey, you've missed 4 threes in a row, but your tattoos really pop with that jersey. Yeah, I kind of like that cloud behind the amateur night logo. We should Photoshop that in to stay. That looks nice.
Yeah.
As we get a ball. Ball two, both runners look like they will advance. Throw down to third. He's safe. So runners at second and third now. Nobody out. Three and 0. Good pitch right down the middle. Strike one. Looking back at this game now, Jake, I think I probably would have pulled him that first time I went out to the mound. Maybe he'll prove me wrong here and pull it out, but that's ball four. Probably would have pulled him there. Looking back, just seeing kind of the same delivery issues, um, and just frankly lack of command in this game. Unfortunately for him, it's tough with young pitchers, right? You want to try to give them a chance to work out of things so they can build their confidence up. But if you leave them in too long, then you're doing the opposite. So you got to figure out kind of that balance of how long is the leash. There's a ball there. I think if the catcher catches that, that's probably a strike, but he didn't, unfortunately. So ball gets by there. Monarchs tack on another. That makes it 6-1. Got probably two other pitchers available today. So if you're the manager, which I am, so we see ball two. You're probably thinking about who's next up because you're probably going to have to use both of those pitchers at this point to get through this game. Even if Austin somehow finds a way to get through this inning, probably not coming out the next inning. Another pass ball. Monarchs tack on another one, 7-1. So a game that was 1-1 at the end of the third inning is now 7-1 Monarchs in a kind of unassuming way, as we see. Oh, sorry, that was ball four. I missed one. So the runner is now on first. And Kern does come out now to pull Austin, um, gives him some words of encouragement. And we'll see Will Prine come up to pitch. So going with the veteran here, um, veteran right-hander here. And it looks like they're also going to make a catching change. Not surprised there. Derek performed admirably, but man, that has to be exhausting. So before this game, Jake Heller told me he caught in high school. So while they're changing, Tony will come out and be the designated catcher for the warm-ups. Thought that was a UFO. It looks like it was just a bug. And so now with the fatigue setting in for White, I think you're going to go to Heller here, see how it goes. Um, I mean, at this point, you kind of don't have anything to lose, right? Catching's hard for 9 innings, especially when you faced a ton of wild pitches or balls that have gotten by you as pass balls, and you're running back and forth. That makes for a long day. Jake, good catch, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with this past few batters here, especially, a bunch of wild pitches leading to bases stolen and runs scored strictly just off of that.
Yeah,
So both ends, pitching and catching, it's gonna wear you down.
yeah, absolutely. So you feel for Austin there, trying to get right. Unfortunately, the command just wasn't there today. I know he'll battle back. He's been working hard, and he'll come out firing strikes next time he's out. Everyone has a bad day, and unfortunately, this was his. So now you have Will Prine stepping up. Will's looked okay this year. He did give up the one home run last game. No, and actually, Sam Jordan, I was wrong. The pitcher that started the game is now the catcher for this one. So long day's work for Sam. That's tough. I used to have to pitch and catch for a game. I remember this. I was like sixth or seventh grade. I'd pitch half the game and catch the other half of the game. That's rough, Jake. That's rough on your legs. Pitching is a ton of legs. Catching is a ton of legs. We're under attack from a Monarchs player. Get away. Oh no, he's just grabbing a foul ball. All right. Not sure if he could hear us, so pitcher and catcher probably asking what pitches he throws, what he likes, what his favorite color is, those kinds of things before you start.
Do you think it's easier for the catcher being a pitcher to call which pitches to throw?
I think it depends a lot on the pitcher. For me, I felt like it was pretty natural, but also like one of the traps that I would fall into that other pitchers I know fall into is they call the game they would like to throw rather than the game that the pitcher likes to throw. And so for me, that was hard because I called a lot more breaking balls than most guys did because that's what I like to throw. That doesn't work for most guys, and so I would get into trouble with that kind of stuff. So, I think in general, though, if the pitcher and catcher kind of line up decently, which I think they do here with Sam and Will, I think it's easier. But also, you have folks like Tyler who normally catches for us, who understands the game, has been calling pitches for so long that it's, we're in. Even when I'm on the mound, I rarely shake him off, and we're in sync because we've worked together so long. So that partnership and relationship can definitely help catchers out a ton too. That ball's crushed, and that's a home run. First batter of the inning for Will Prine is a home run for the Monarchs. So Monarchs take a 10-1 lead here in a game that's all of a sudden a blowout, Jake. That breaking ball just caught a little too much of the plate and traveled a long distance. One of the things that's really surprised me so far watching the Indiana Baseball League this season is the number of home runs hit. It's not like the major leagues, but also you don't expect a ton of home runs. We've had at least one every game. I think that's the fourth one in 3 games. So Um, interesting to see the power on display in a wooden bat baseball league. These guys aren't using aluminum bats like college. They're using wooden bats, which the ball doesn't travel quite as far on a wooden bat as it does on an aluminum bat. But guys are hitting home runs nonetheless. It's ball too. Yeah, when I was in high school, when I first moved up to varsity, the pitching coach would call pitches from the dugout. Um, and he was a really good pitcher, played in college, but called pitches like he wanted to throw, and it just didn't work for me. And so, our catcher I had played with for several years, as that's an out there, knew me pretty well, and he and I went to the coach and said, "Hey, let us call for a game," and we did, and we never looked back. So, and I got all conference honorable mention that year. So sometimes it's just like who knows the pitcher and who doesn't. Sometimes it is helpful for a catcher who doesn't pitch because they don't come in with a preconceived notion of what you like to throw based on what they like to throw. 10-1 here in the top of the fifth in an inning that has gone on for a while now. Yeah, looking back, I probably pull Austin the first time I go out to the mound. Um, but I don't know that it makes much of a difference here in the way that the Monarchs are just crushing the ball today. And they're a really good hitting team. There's a reason they're the defending champs and undefeated. And we're seeing it here as the Penguins are down 10-1. But there's still a lot of game left. So if the Penguins bats wake up and Will settles down here, um, the Penguins have a good chance to come back in this. It's 3-0. So as we look at the bullpen availability, the Penguins have one more pitcher available after Will Prine. That would be me. So the only other option left in the bullpen. The only lefty pitcher on the roster too. We get ball four. So it was a little bit of an issue for the Penguins last year. Actually, a big issue for the Penguins last year. Not a ton of pitchers threw strikes consistently. You really had two pitchers that were last year, and that was Derek and myself. Then Derek hurt his arm, is unavailable to pitch this season for the most part. Sam's doing a good job of throwing strikes. Will was up until this game, so you hope he kind of finds it. The runner goes, throw down, not in time. The runner steals second base. How do you feel about stealing a base up 10-1 in the fifth inning? Is it too early to call off the dogs, or do you say, hey, we're up 10-1, let's chill out? What would you do there?
I feel like 10-1, maybe you back off just a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, strike one. He tried to steal third base there too, so um, that's kind of how I feel too. I did it during the game. Still do after. Feel kind of some kind of way about that. You're up 10-1 in the fifth inning, really trying to steal bases. But also, I guess if I'm the Monarchs, which I'm not, I'd make the argument that hey, if we score another run, this game's over in the seventh inning instead of the ninth inning. So maybe there, I'm like, okay, fair enough. You know what I mean? I could go both ways with it. I'll tell you, during the game, I was a little annoyed. But now that I've talked myself through it a little bit, maybe less so. Maybe I understand where they're coming from a little bit better. The runner steals third base. And the batter strikes out. Sorry about that. I missed a strike on one of the foul balls. So that's two outs now for Prine. Pass ball. Runner will score there. Makes it 11-1. So that's why you steal the bases, I think, right? Manufacture a run. There's been a lot of pass balls, a lot of wild pitches. So now, if you hold the Penguins for, basically 3 innings, the game is over and you can go home early. So Penguins were 10-run ruled in that game against the Stealth, 19-9 in the eighth inning. So we've been hit again. Strike. So looking to avoid that. I think when you're a young team trying to figure it out, like one of the best things that helps you is playing a full game, playing 9 innings, learning the strategy of playing a 9 inning game, learning what the endurance feels like. As we see another strike at a terrible pitch. 0-2. And so if you're the Penguins, like the first order of business is to score a run so you can play the entire game. And then from there, you're looking at what the comeback looks like. Here's the pitch. That's strike three. So that'll end the inning. Bottom of the fifth, we go. Monarchs. What did they score in that inning? 6, 11-1. I think it was 5-1 before. It was 4-1. I don't know. They scored a boatload. At least a rugby touchdown. And the Penguins are down. Just one bad inning, right? We've talked about that before. It's kind of a thing that happens to the Penguins in years past. As it looks like we may be getting a new pitcher here for the Monarchs, which makes sense up 11-1. But one bad inning in baseball can undo a ton of good work, and that's what we've seen here. And so now, can you rally and show some fight? I vote yes. They should do
Yeah.
that. That's what I'm voting for.
Yeah, I think if we have it up to the fan vote, they would agree.
Yep. Okay. Good. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's difficult too because, a lot of those were based off of wild pitches. It's not necessarily that the Monarchs, they had the home run obviously in the inning as well, but they weren't crushing the bats in that inning necessarily.
Yeah, they really weren't. And if you're a fielder, that's, I think, mentally the hardest thing to go through, where you have no impact on the game at all, and the scoreboard's just going up and up and up. And then what happens is the ball is finally hit to you and you're completely out of the zone during the game and you make an error. That hasn't happened yet. Maybe it won't, but like that's mental fatigue that you really have to fight through when the pitcher is just letting them round the bases with walks and pass balls. Where there's really only two. It's really 9-on-2 at that point between their entire batting lineup and the pitcher and catcher. Fire checks for UFO. Doesn't see any. Pitches in the dirt. Good scoop by the catcher. He'll throw down. Decent enough throw. And we'll get this one underway here. Bottom fifth. Jacob Heller up. Struck out his. No, he fouled off his foot, but it wasn't seen. Grounded out his first at bat. Not blaming the umpire for that. That's a tough call. You don't if you don't see it. I'm just saying that that's what happened. No judgment commentary. That's what I'm doing. See a ball there. He went around, I guess, on that one. Strike one, 1-1. Looking at Jake up to bat right now, I'm really glad we didn't go white and gray. I don't think that looks particularly good together. That's ball two. It's hard to tell, but the Penguins actually have pinstripe jerseys. There's blue pinstripes on them. It's hard to tell from this distance. They look good up close, trust me. He hits a rocket into center field. That gets down and rolls to the fence. Jake rounds second, but he'll stop. So Jacob Heller gets on first to start the inning, or gets on second to start the inning for the Penguins. Runner in scoring position. Like we said at the top of the inning, Jake, first order of business is get one across. That opens up all kinds of things. It gives you two extra innings to play with, assuming you can hold the Monarchs. Um, and gives you a chance at a comeback here. There's no 10-run home run, so you got to do it one at a time. Ball's fouled off there, off the torpedo bat of Ryan Roofer. That's a strike. 0-2. He'll strike out swinging. That's down on strikes for the second time this game is Roofer. Runner still at second with one away. So we have a pinch hitter here. Will Prine is coming in to pinch hit for Tony Safranek, who struck out. Safranek. I don't know how to say his last name. It's one of those two. But anyway, Will's up. Swings and misses. Strike one. Good time called there. Just in time. A little bit of a signs mix up, I think, by the pitcher and catcher. So they're going to try to work it out here amongst themselves. While they do that, Antonio Ochoa brings in a foul ball. Good on him. Kind of surprised seeing Prine hit here. Again, one of two pitchers left in this game for the Penguins. You want to save his legs if you can. But he asked me to bat, and I decided to let him. And thinking through that now, maybe that's not such a smart decision. Should have left Tony in. Sorry, Tony. It's just high. That gets by the catcher. Runner will advance to third. So now runner on third, one away. Pitcher will check the runner here. Pitch. That's strike two. Not a UFO. That was a bird. Also flying in the distance. Pretty sure that's also an airplane. Ooh, terrible call for strike three. That has been a strike all day, Jake. I'm just gonna say it. So that's two outs now for the Pengies, the Guinos. Antonio Ochoa, as we go to the top of the order, he's 1 for 2 in this game. Good scoop there by the catcher. Saved a run with that catch. 1-0. Once again, gets around pretty hardcore there on a breaking ball. Just needs to wait back a little bit, and that ball is going to be driven into the outfield. Instead, that's a foul ball. Can the Gray Pants score the other Gray Pants player? That's what we're looking for here. That's the parlay you should have bet on because this is your opportunity if it works. And the pitch. Curveball for a strike. Feels like the zone's widened out a little bit as the score has widened. Not a ton, just a little bit. Ochoa hits one to center field. Will it drop? It does not. That's out number 3. So the Penguins leave another runner on base. We go to the top of the 6, 11-1. Penguins are running out of outs before being not only before losing this game, but being 10-run ruled. So 6 outs to go.
Yeah, and you got to really try to focus on stop the bleeding this inning. You got the 10 run difference right now. You definitely don't want that to grow going into the bottom of the inning.
As we see a pitching change here for the Penguins, the last pitcher available for them, Corey Kern, comes out to pitch. He'll pitch to Derek White, who was catching, but now is the warm-up catcher. So bold move here to go to your last pitcher in the 6th inning. Um, that means that, should the Penguins get back in this game, you're looking at 4 innings from Kern, which would be quite a few considering the most he's gone in any other game is 2. So, but a bold move. You gave up the home run. Will looked a little wild there, so I think looking back at this call, I'd probably do it again. But it is a little bit of a risk. But at this point, you don't have anything to lose. Worst that happens is he gives up a couple runs and you lose in the 7th inning, which is what you're looking at now anyway. Seeing Warring up there, number 13. And we have a new catcher. Jacob Heller is catching now. So Sam did 1 inning, and now they've put Jacob in, which means Tony Safranek or Safranek, however you want to say it, is at third base. So the All-Star playing third base. Pretty good person to have come off the bench as an All-Star. Terrible pitch there. Let's hope that's not a sign of things to come. So we'll get the throw down here. We'll get a first chance to look at Jake's arm. I imagine he's got a pretty good arm. He plays a decent third base, or a really good third base, I should say. Yeah, right on the money. That was a laser. 137.5 speeds is what the pitch was. The throw down was 182. So 13 on 13 action to get this one underway here in the sixth inning. Kern trying to stop the bleeding, as you said, and keep this to a 10-run game and hope his team can battle back. That's high for a ball. Not a good start. Get a ground ball to the shortstop. Throw over to first. That's one out. So once again, an efficient at bat for me. Kind of been the calling card, Jake. Not going super deep into counts, getting ground balls or fly ball outs. Not getting a ton of strikeouts either. Lefty matchup here. You know, as a left-handed pitcher, this is something that you look forward to. Strike right there. What a great curveball. Damn. 84 movement. Pretty good. Comes second pitch. It's outside. A little bit of a slider there, or a sweeper, if you will. Foul tip for strike two. So a much different looking type of pitcher for the Penguins here, right? You saw guys that were predominantly fastball guys. Now a guy that's seemingly allergic to fastballs pitching. The David Wells of the Penguins. That's a ball. Good block there by Jake. It's got to be hard for both Jake and Corey here, right? We're both playing together for the first time. I literally met Jake 10 minutes before the game. So trying to get on the same page here. And that's a strikeout. So two away there for the Penguins. Ball thrown in here. Nobody on, two out. Ground ball to the shortstop. He charges. He throws that one over the first baseman's head, so that'll be an error. And runner on first base for the Monarchs. Bad news is the runner's on first base because of the error from the shortstop, his second of the game. Good news is, though, I only threw one pitch and that at bat. So not really a whole lot of harm done. Pitch a little high. Sounds good off the mitt, though. It sounded nice. Comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Curveball. That ball's hit up in the air. Left fielder's under it. And that's out number three. So no runs, no hits, no errors, or one error, as the Monarchs are held to a 10-run lead um, here in the sixth inning. So now the Penguins got to get some runs. 6 outs remaining until they're 10-run ruled. Trying to get out of that. Good pitching outing again, though, for me. Looked efficient. Got 3 outs, no hits, even a strikeout, which is something that I don't do a ton. So we'll take it.
Yeah, a risky move by the manager to put the last pitcher in this early, but it seems to be paying off so far.
Yeah, we'll see if it's a law of diminishing returns here as the game goes on because we know, that I'll have to pitch at least one more now, and potentially three more, right? If the Penguins start scoring some runs. So we see the Monarchs have put in a new pitcher. He's warming up. It's always this is what I'm always thinking about too, Jake. I'd love your opinion on this for my next game that I manage. You're up 10. If you 10-run rule the team, the game's over early. Your pitcher's been pitching pretty well. Do you give a guy who maybe is struggling or doesn't pitch a lot a run here, knowing you have a 10-run lead, or you keep riding with the hot hand and hope that you end the game early? What would, what are your thoughts on that?
That's a tricky one. I think it depends on, if it's earlier in the season, I feel like you go with the guy that maybe needs some more time on the mound, let him kind of work out through things. If it's later in the season, you're trying to solidify your spots in the standings. I think maybe you run it with the guy that has been successful so far.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Maybe the season where you are in the season determines it more than anything. Because yeah, towards the end of the season, right, you're getting more injuries, you're getting guys that are fatigued. So maybe that's a good time to like give guys a break, or but also maybe it's a good time to solidify what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Because ending the game early gives everyone a break. So good point. Still no UFOs, more clouds. Although I wouldn't say it's cloudy, Jake.
No, not by a long shot.
Catcher throws down off his knees. Okay, young fella. Will Prine will throw it over to the catcher. Catcher misses that. That's awkward. He's caught like 80 balls. How does he drop that one? Who's up here? I didn't see. Is it Alex Agrawal? Yeah. Agrawal up, so number two in the order. They're going to intentionally walk him. Oh, wait. No, they're just going to talk about science. Okay. I thought he was going to stand up, give him the arm, like, hey, we're walking him.
It'd be a bold strategy up 10.
That's we're gonna walk everybody. We want to make this a game again. Here's the pitch. It's a ball. Next pitch. Also a ball. That ball is popped out of play for strike one. A lot of foul balls today. I don't know if it's more than normal. It's just I've noticed it more, if that makes sense. Oh, he called that a strike. Okay, 2-2. I wasn't sure. He wasn't very demonstrative. Plus, the batter got out of the way, so I wasn't. You know what I mean? Couldn't tell where it was. Another ball fouled off. 2-2. Everyone gets set. Here comes the pitch. He swings and misses, so that's out number one for the Penguins. Throw the catcher. Derek White is up now. Derek is 1 for 2 in this game, I believe. Comes the pitch to Derek. He fouls it off. I'm convinced there's more foul balls now.
Yeah.
That's like the fourth one in 2 at bats. Do you think there'd be a lot less foul balls if they used cricket bats? That's what I've always wondered.
I would think so.
Yeah. That's the ball. I've also always wondered, like, what's harder to hit, a cricket ball or a baseball? Like, given the rules, I think probably baseball, but I'm not convinced. That's a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes here on number 00. Double nothing. Pitch. White hammers that one. And that's a home run. So his first one of the season, home run Penguins. You see the logo and everything on that, Jake. That was a great home run.
Yeah.
What a shot there by Derek White. So the Penguins now only down 9, looking to play a full game of baseball. First order of business was to get one. Second order of business, definitely to get another one. Up next, Steve Stunta. Tied for the team lead in home runs with 1, with Derek and Ricardo now. He was swinging for the fences with that one. I could see that swing. But that's strike 1. Monster shot to left field. So second home run in this game between the two teams. That's our 5th in 3 games, Jake, this season for home runs. Stunta hits one to third base. It bounces off the third baseman. He's going to attempt the throw. He's safe on the error. So the Penguins get a runner on here. All of a sudden showing a little bit of life are the Guinos. Pitch to Corey. That's a ball. Just a little bit of a bobble, but Stunta uses it to take second base. Now there's a runner in scoring position with only 1 away here for the Penguins. That's a ball. Two no count. Three and 0. Good patient at bat here. Sometimes it's hard for batters when there's a runner in scoring position. You want to swing and try to score, but we've seen with Corey, you're down 9. You need base runners more than anything right now. So he's doing a good job. He'll take the strike there. Make him get one across.
Yeah, with the 3-0 count, I'm always in favor of taking the pitch regardless.
Yeah, the only time I really would call that off is if you're up a bunch of runs. You know what I mean? Because we get ball 4. So runners on first and second now. 1 down. And Ricardo Jimenez comes up. He's He's letting the umpire know any pitch he doesn't swing at is a ball. Smart strategy, honestly.
Yeah, he'll call his own strikes too.
Yeah, that's right. That's he knows how. Yeah, both runners take off, and they both advance. What a call by the manager to put on the double steal there. Runners on second and third with one away. Also takes away the double play, Jake. Now a fly ball scores a run. And there is one. Fly ball to center field. It drops. So both runs will score. And we get off the steal all of a sudden now the Penguins only down four. I'm sorry, down seven. They've scored four, three in this inning. The double steal sets up an easy base hit for two RBIs. So now Sam Jordan will come up. It's really interesting to watch Ricardo play. He's ground ball here to the shortstop. It gets through. That'll be a single. Yep. Ball was overthrown. Ricardo will go to third. We got first and third now. Still only one away. But it's great to watch Ricardo just come through over and over again for the Penguins. He's been a bright spot of their lineup for sure. Here comes pitch. Ball outside. Checks the runners at first and third. Ball two. Pickoff move over to first base doesn't work. Bold to pick off over at first base with a runner on third. That ball gets by the first baseman. It's an automatic run scored. But also maybe the guy on first isn't looking. You know what I mean? So kind of it's a high risk, high reward proposition. He does try to steal second, however. So the Penguins counter trying to steal second base with a guy on third base to see if the Monarchs will throw down. We'll get the foul ball. Someone should mark strikes on here. I got it.
Yeah, I think
Talking to
that's
our
a good move though to try to have that runner on first, see if they attempt that throw down to second.
absolutely. Throw over back to first. And so now the pitcher's thinking about it as we see Ricardo thinks about going to home. We saw him out of the corner there by us. Again, that ball is close to getting by the first baseman. If that happens, the run's automatic. So a little bit of mind games going on with the Penguins and the Monarchs here. Ball. 3-1. This is great baseball going on right here. This is the kind of stuff that gets me excited. Right, first and third, one out, 3-1 count. It's a hitter's count. Do you send the guy? Do you throw over? Do you throw over to third to see if the guy's getting off a little too far? You know what I mean? Lots going on here as the runner takes off, but he can slow up as that's a walk. Base is loaded now with one away. And now the manager for the Monarchs is going to come out and have a conversation with the pitcher. My guess is he's saying, "Hey, bud, throw strikes." As Ryan Roofer comes up, if the torpedo bat were to pay off here, this would be an epic side story of this game.
Now, do you think the Monarchs manager also compliments the players when he goes out to the mound?
I don't think so. I think that's unique to me. It's what makes like me a really good manager. He probably has his own style, you know. But now he knows my secret. He called that a strike? I think he did. Now he knows my secret. They might start using it, but their players will know it's not sincere.
Yeah, that's a key difference.
Yeah. So you just learned that on the internet. 11-4, bases loaded, 1 out. And it hit him. So the Penguins get another one. Hit him on an 0-2 count. That's rough. Ricardo says that's the way he likes to score, just walking to home. That was awesome. I don't blame him. I don't like to run. Will Prine is up. Throw here. He steps out, but that's a strike. So 4 runs across in this inning for the Penguins. Still only 1 down. So Will Prine takes strike 2. Gotta tell you, it was a bad move putting Will into bat. He struck out his first time up. He's down 0-2 here. My guess is he's got tired legs from pitching. Foul ball. We've been hit. Still 0-2 count here. Pitcher needs to get out here, work his way out of this. He throws a perfect breaking ball. That's strike 3. That's 2 outs. You're in the 6th inning. Will strikes out for the second time today. Antonio Ochoa comes in. You'll notice this is a rarity in a baseball game, but he's made a costume change.
He's pulling a Joe Bird.
Yeah, that's right. The only other place I've ever seen this, he's wearing his Del Caribe's jersey here. It's a ball. And they will score there on a pass ball. So the Penguins have pulled it down to a 5-run lead. They've cut the deficit in half in this inning. I told Antonio if he strikes out in this at bat, he can never wear that jersey again. The rare costume change in the middle of a baseball game. That's a ball. It's like a couple of years ago when that one base, I can't remember which team it was, but they came out with their name spelled wrong on their jersey. Comes pitch. 3-0. And the pitch. He swings on 3-0. That's an out. Got to be honest, I don't like the swing there. Um, the pitcher's struggling to throw strikes. It's a 3-0 count. Let that go. Get on base, right? You're still down 5. Next man up. It's not like that ball ties the game. So you don't like that swing there, but it is what it is. That's a ball. Or I'm sorry, that's an out. We move on to the top of the 7th. Corey Kern heads back to the mound, mostly because there's no one else.
Yeah, now you got to start thinking, about the stamina of the pitcher. Is he going to be able to make it through 9 innings now?
Yeah. This is a funny moment here. So I'm going to tell myself, I'm standing there. I don't know if you just heard me yell Tony. But the catcher is putting on catcher's gear. So I need someone else to come and catch for me. So I yell for Tony because I forgot I put him at third base. So Tony's like, "What?" And he's right on third base. So, um, I was focused on the job ahead. You know what I mean? It's hard to manage and play. Um, and like, Tony usually does that duty if we need somebody to, but obviously he's playing third base and should probably like warm up at third base rather than warm me up. But if he weren't so selfish, he would have done it anyway. All right. All right, we're throwing it down. I don't like a lot of warm up pitches. Some pitchers do. I do not. I'm also thinking, how am I going to get through the ninth inning in this game? There's only so many bullets in the gun, and I don't have another magazine. It's just me. So we're going to throw like four fastballs and I'll be like, okay, throw it down. The rest will come. Um, Efficiency is what I'm going to say that is. As we get a ground ball there, foul. That'll be strike one. Comes another pitch. Fouled away again. That's strike two. I will tell you, I hate long counts. I hate long at bats. I pitched in a scrimmage after one of our games coming up, and a guy fouled off like three of them. And I was like, dude, strike out or walk. Just get out of here. Pop fly, foul territory, and that's an out. Good catch there by the first baseman. That's out number one. Ricardo tells everyone he's running too much today. That's the spirit. Peak athletes. That's what we have out here. Ground ball, third base. Tony picks it up, bobbles it, makes the throw, and he gets the out. That's two quick outs here for the Penguins against the Monarchs. Good job by Tony there not to panic. You can barely see it, but the ball hit his glove, bounced out. He takes two steps to the right to pick it up, still fires it in plenty of time. He's got a good enough arm that he doesn't have to panic too much when that happens. Number 14 is up. Pitch comes in. That's the ball. And we've been hit. Get away. Back up. Did you hear him grunt to pick up that ball? Fly ball for the third out to the left field. So the Penguins get three up, three down there. No runs, no hits, no errors. We'll move on to the bottom of the seventh. Penguins looking to cut back into this lead. So, honestly, everything's kind of playing out the way you'd hoped once you got down 10, which you never want. But we've held them for two innings now. And we scored 5 runs in the last inning, cut the deficit in half. Now you just try to get a couple more in each inning and try to chip away at that lead. All right, here we go. Monarchs are taking the field pretty slowly this inning. I gotta tell you. You wonder, is this a little bit of gamesmanship, right? Up five, all the momentum with the Penguins. There is a time limit at 2.5 hours. Um, do you slow it down a little bit as we see a new pitcher step in? So Monarchs still warming up here. As we see the normal catcher, Eric Russi, wasn't able to play. Talking to the umpire here in between innings. Eric is also, I think, the vice president of the organization for the Indiana Baseball League. Really good guy. He's also in charge of the player pool manager. So whenever you need more players, Eric's the guy you go through. So lots of volunteer hours from Eric for the league. All right, so we're going down to second base. We'll see how it goes. All right, so Ricardo's stepping up here. Or I'm sorry, that's Alex Agrawal stepping up here. Um, he struck out his last at bat. He swings and misses there for strike one. He hits that one, grounder to the third baseman. Third baseman makes the throw, and they get the out on a close play. That's out number one. You don't see guys run the ball out all the time in the majors and some of the pro leagues. In this league, you should though, because you never know what's going to happen. Much more likely to have errors and such. And I think that he did a good job there running down. Just making that a close play. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Um, but good effort there by Agrawal. So we got a ball. Derek White up again, homered last time up. He crushes that one. That's an out. Looks like a line drive to the third baseman. It's out number two. He crushed that, and it just went right to the player. Get a ball. Steve stunned up now. He fouls one back. He hits one hard, but that's a foul ball. 1-2. Couple hard hit balls. Ground ball right back to this second baseman. It gets through him though. And that's a base hit for Stunda. So still life here for the Penguins. Runner on first. 2 outs here with Corey Sversina coming up. Here comes the pitch. That's a strike. That was a nasty looking curveball. Ground ball. Oh, 2 count here. Pitch is outside, ball 1. Pitcher thought he had him there. It was just a little outside, Jake. Foul ball, so will remain 1-2. Corey shaking his head a little bit there. Thought he had that one, and he just missed it. He swings and misses there. That's strike 3. So we head to the 8th, 11-6. Monarchs on top. So once again, Jake, we've hit a little bit of a stalemate here. Penguins got one on, but weren't able to cash in. And I will go back out for the 8th inning, and we'll see if this will be my longest outing of the season thus far. We'll see if fatigue starts to set in here or not. See Ricardo coming out, going to first base. Umpires are talking about where to eat their steak dinner after this game. What's your go-to steak place, Jake? Do you eat steak or are you vegetarian?
I'm not a vegetarian, but I don't particularly care for steak.
Oh, I think we talked about this before.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't like it. Well, here in Indiana, we have St. Elmo's. You ever heard of St. Elmo's? I'll give them a free plug. They're famous for having really spicy cocktail sauce for their shrimp. It's very spicy. So next time you're in Indiana, we'll go there and we'll get you some. It will clear your sinuses, I will tell you. But
Yeah.
it's an experience. St. Elmo's Steakhouse. They're like a whole chain.
I think normally when I go up, I get like pizza is normally the go-to.
Yeah, that makes sense. The state sandwich is the pork tenderloin. So if you ever go that
Yeah.
way,
I definitely have to try that. I haven't had one yet.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big pork guy. Outside of like bacon, ham, I like the breakfast porks.
Okay.
Not really any of the others. I don't like pork chops or any of that stuff. It's not for me.
Yeah. I like ribs if they're done right.
No, ribs are good. That's a good point. Kern gets the ground ball. That's out number 1. First pitch of the inning. Gets the out. And another efficient outing, I will say. Number 25 here. He and I played actually together as we've been just drilled.
Direct shot.
Direct shot. We played together one game, and that was the All-Star game 4 years ago. played on the same team together. He's the center fielder for the Monarchs. I pitched 2 scoreless innings in that All Star game. Foul ball. That's strike 2. 0-2. So he's fouled me off twice. We face each other a lot. He knows me pretty well. Always makes me nervous when I face him. I got him right where I want him here with 0-2. Unless he gets a base hit, then I messed it up. I agree with that call. Strike, you're out. On a pitch way outside, a waste pitch there. Another waste pitch. I call them waste pitches if they're not strikes, so I look good. Wasn't trying to throw a strike there. If I were, it would have been a strike, obviously. Here comes pitch. Another foul ball. He really went for that one. That one wasn't even close to the plate either. Bleachers got hit. Another one. Struck him out. Second strikeout for Kern on the day. Season high for an outing. 2 strikeouts. Not bad. Lefty on lefty matchup here. He hits that one hard. That falls in the gap. So the Monarchs get their first hit off me. It's a double. Might be a triple. No, he's going to hold up. So base hit there for the Monarchs. Double actually puts a runner on second with 2 away. That wasn't a bad pitch though. It was a breaking ball down. He just got under it. So they called that a ball. Pitcher, or I'm sorry, the batter asks what that call was because it should have been a strike. I assume that's why I asked. It's ball 2. All 3. First 3-0 count. First 3-ball count. This outing. Got a battle back here. Or else. He swings 3-0. Chopper to the shortstop who makes the play. That's out number 3. Again, don't like swinging on a 3-0 count there. But also, it's funny because I'm sure he was sitting fastball, and that was a 3-0 curveball, which he got under and was way ahead of. But we head to the bottom of the 8th here. Penguins still down 5, Jake. How are you feeling about this game? Do they still have a chance?
They've got some momentum now, but you do have to consider if they get some runs scored here, you still got to hold them off in the 9th too.
Yeah. And already through my longest outing of the season at 3 innings. Haven't even started that inning yet. This is an interesting warm up by this pitcher. As you can tell, he's like not winding up or anything. He's just kind of stepping and throwing. I don't know that I've ever seen that before.
Preserving the arm.
I guess so. It's working for him though. He's pitching well. So no matter what now in this game, the Penguins will not fall to the 10-run rule, which is something that looked, I don't want to say certain, but probable in the fifth inning. So good job by them. They did battle back and have fought so far, and they're not done yet. Score some runs here and really make this a game. Um, I think 2 runs here makes this a scary proposition if you're a Monarchs fan, which I'm not. Meanwhile, shout out to the camera. I'm surprised we've held on this long. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball fouled by Ricardo. That's an 0-2 count. He hits one over to the gap. Third baseman gets it. He'll throw over to first. It's out number one. Good play by the first baseman, cutting in front of the shortstop there. That to me is one of the coolest looking plays in baseball. When the third baseman runs over and cuts off the shortstop and throws it to first. It's a simple play. It's not dazzling or anything, but I just think it looks clean. Kind of like a step back jump shot. Sam's up. He's got a hit today. Sam Jordan does. Also caught for an inning and pitched for 4 innings. It's a good ball. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. He'll field it, make the throw over to first, and that's an out. So 2 outs here for the Penguins. They only have 4 outs left in this one. Interesting fact about the Monarchs shortstop. I can't remember his name, but he did play 1 game for the Penguins 2 years ago when he was in the 18 plus league. We didn't have enough players for a game, so we got 2 guys from the 18 plus league to come up and play in the 25 plus who were old enough to play in the 25 plus because there's no upper age cap to the division. So you don't have to move up at 25. And a lot of people don't. But he came played for us and played pretty decently. Jake Heller takes a strike. He's got 1 hit so far today. We'll take ball one. 1-1 count. It's a ball. So far, the 2 guys debuting, Antonio Ochoa, Jake Heller, played pretty well, been very productive for the Penguins so far in this one. Jake hits that one. Pop up to the shortstop, and that'll be out number 3. So we go to the top of the ninth here. Kern will take the mound, trying to hold this one to a 5-point game and give his Penguins a chance to win their second game of the season against the undefeated champs, the Monarchs. Outside of 1 inning, Jake, I feel like the Penguins have matched up well with the Monarchs in this game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, you throw out that 1 inning with the wild pitches and the home run by the Monarchs, and the Penguins are right in this game.
So, for me, that's as the manager, that's encouraging to see, that we put that one bad inning behind us and we battle and we're doing well. And again, we're missing some guys in this game, right? Normally, Sam Moran is probably out there pitching right now instead of me. My day's probably done after 2 innings. You have Everett Laughlin, who's a good batter. Sam's a good batter as well. You have Tyler and Adam, who are good players. So even with slightly depleted roster, although I think this team looks really good here at the Penguins. Playing well with the champs. I'll tell you, I was feeling some fatigue out there for this inning. Not a ton, but some. I definitely had to like concentrate a little bit more to go through the motion correctly. You know what I mean? One of the easiest things to do when you're a pitcher is kind of like give up halfway through a pitch when you're tired. And when you're throwing breaking balls, that's hard to do because then everything's just way up. So it just takes a little extra mental fortitude, if you will, to battle back when you start getting a little tired. And I'm an old man, Jake. Oldest guy on the team. Number 6 is up here for the Monarchs. Try to extend their lead. He pops one up, first pitch. That's out number 1. I think that's the 4th batter to get out on the first pitch of the at bat against me. So, um, a lot of guys sit dead red for that, meaning looking for a fastball that first pitch. I don't usually throw a fastball the first pitch. I may sometimes just to mix it up. Um, so it mixes guys up, especially when they've seen fastball, fastball, fastball from every pitcher that they faced before me. So that's ball 1. So I do what they call pitching them backwards. We'll throw a lot of breaking balls and then a fastball at the end. Swung out of his shoes on that one. Strike 1. Did you see that cut? This is the first batter I faced, so we're, um, his second time facing me. Pretty good considering we're in my 4th inning of work. That's ball 2. Oh, it hit him. That puts a runner on first base. My first hit batter of the season. Can't believe I hit him. Serves him right. I
He
don't know
should
what he
have
did.
stormed the mound after that.
Yeah, he should have charged the mound for real. I'd have been too tired to fight. He could have knocked me out. I've thrown at people on purpose. I've never had someone charge the mound. I'm surprised. Not in the IBL. I haven't thrown at people in the IBL on purpose. So as we're seeing a few more balls here, so definitely some fatigue setting in. Really trying to battle through. We get a foul ball there. Not quite as sharp. Not hitting the spots quite as well as before. Ball right back to me. Get the out at first. So that's 2 away. But the runner does advance to second on the slight bobble that I had there. Frankly, should have gotten a double play. Instead, I only get 1. Could come back to haunt me, but there's 2 outs, so who knows? Comes the pitch. That ball is lined into left field. That looks like that's going to fall. It does. Runners held at third, however, so we got first and third with 2 away. So this is why I typically don't go 4 innings. A little bit of fatigue, but also when guys see you one time, they know what your game plan is and can kind of adjust. And again, nothing that's hit. There was the one laser that was hit the last inning. Nothing was hit hard, but just enough to get hits. So you kind of get that, like I said earlier, that law of diminishing returns. Get a foul ball there, strike 1. If you want to make baseball interesting, I think the runner should have to get back on a foul ball before you throw over. Here comes the pitch. Outside, okay. First baseman had me convinced it was a strike. I'll be honest with you. pitch there, strike two. I shouldn't blow myself up like that and say good pitch, but that was a nasty pitch. I can't. Foul ball. We've been hit. Get away. Get away. That guy right there. That's number 26. That was the shortstop I was talking about that played for us for one game. He's on deck. I hope I strike him out. He's a nice guy, but I like to strike people out if I can. Ball hit, drops into left field. That will score a run. First and second now with two outs. Run from Monarchs makes it 12-6. Now they're going to do timeout for the catcher, who's going to get a pinch runner or a courtesy runner. I do like his socks though, number 26 here. He's wearing the old school Cardinals socks, is what it looks like to me. Solid look with the stripes. There's the pitch, ground ball. And they get the out at third base. So we allow a run there, but we head to the bottom of the ninth, down 6, 12-6. Overall, good outing. I gave up the run at the end. Nothing though was a hit hard, even in that inning. Had the one hit batter, but that was it. No walks. Stem the tide. As the Monarchs take the field. So we are 3 minutes away from the time limit, but the time limit, remind you, allows you to finish the inning. So there's no time limit here for the Penguins. They can take as long as they need to come back and win this game. We have a piece of plastic coming towards us. Still no UFO reports. Disappointing.
A tall task ahead, though, here in the bottom of the ninth. Down 6, it's 12-6 here. They're going to have to score more runs than they have on the board currently to pull this one off.
We'll see. We see a warm up here again. Same warm up. I'm gonna ask him about it next time I see him, which will be this Sunday. We play the Monarchs this Sunday. No wind up, no stretch. He just throws it, which I like. Maybe I should start doing that. I'm gonna start doing that. I do that like during warm up before a game, or before I go in when I'm in the bullpen. I will throw. I generally like work my way back, throw a couple like that off the mound, go past the mound, throw a couple more, and then come back and like get in the stretch and everything. Um, but it seems it's working well for him. Like I said, he came in after that inning where we scored 6 or scored 5, I mean, and hasn't given up a run since. So it's interesting to see different people's, I don't know, routines, I guess. Ryan Roofer with a torpedo bat. Let's see it. He looks ready. He takes a strike. I thought he was going to torpedo that one in the outfield. This is that one. That's strike 2, 0-2. Feels like he's just pulling off the ball a little bit in his at bats today. Oh God, my phone attacked me. As he gets hit, and so do we. We'll put a runner on first. So they get a runner here. Will Prine is up. He's struck out twice. Hopefully, he can come through with a hit here and keep the Penguins' game alive. Roofer steals second. He's in there. Risky call there to steal second base, down 6. But, again, what do you have to lose? Besides, the game, I guess. Got to quit stepping out of the box on those curveballs. We've seen it, I think, 3 times now in his at bats. And pitch. That's a strike. 1-2 count here. Oh, it's hit to right field. It looks like right to the right fielder. He makes the play. Roofer tags up, and he's out. The catcher's taking off his gear, even though there's 2 outs, which is a little unorthodox. He'll put it back on. Okay, well, that's smart. I shouldn't have sent him on that. Roofer's got speed, but you're not. Who cares? Second or third, there's no difference there. Bad play called by me as the manager. That's the third one today. If you're keeping track, which I am. You see the swing and miss on strike one, way ahead. Something for Antonio to work on. He's played really well today, but waiting back on those curveballs and breaking balls will help him a ton. That's a ball. Ball is inside. Ball 2. Two one count. Another foul ball. Another breaking ball just fouled off down the left side. So they're going to have a quick talk here with 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Nearly hits him, and that'll take us to a full count. So good at bat here by Antonio. Penguins down to their last strike. He's trying to keep them alive here. He takes ball 4, so he'll get on first base. So once again, a runner on. This is where you're bemoaning. I shouldn't have sent that runner from second to third because now we'd have guys on first and second with 1 out instead of one guy on with 2 outs, which would have put a little more pressure on the Monarchs. Let's see if the guys can make up for my mistake, though, as Agrawal takes strike 1. Characteristically, quiet game for him. He's 0 for 3 in this one. Usually a guy you can count on for a hit or 2 every game. Been a little off today. Takes high, ball 1. Foul ball. Ball 2. See Derek White pick up the ball there. Hi, Derek. 2-1 count. 3-1 now. Hitters count. Agrawal looking for something to drive, I'm sure. Now it's 3-1. I'm sorry. I hit the ball too many times. Now it's 3-1. Whoever's running the scoreboard sucks. Oh, I missed a strike. Okay. So he strikes out. That's the end of the game. We're final here. The Monarchs win this one 12-6. What are your takeaways, Jake, as we head to 1-3 now to the Penguins?
Yeah, I mean, overall for the Penguins, not some stuff to be happy about. 6 runs, it's pretty good, and it was a hot start to get that first inning going. Overall, not too bad pitching wise. Obviously a little short-handed on that, but you take out that one inning where they had the wild pitches and the home run let up, and they're right in that game with the Monarchs, who are at the top of the league.
Yeah, I think that's right. A couple real honestly, this game to me comes down to managing more than anything. A couple bad calls there. Probably not the right idea to put Beaver in there. You probably need to go to Will instead of Beaver, go to the more tried hand in a game like that. Um, you know, probably then left Beaver in too long. Some bad calls on the bags and with the pinch hitters. So some of that can be cleaned up as well. I think the guys played really well. Played much better than what this score says, I think, as we see the guys getting ready to take care of the field. So with that, we will be back in 3 weeks' time as we watch the Penguins take on the Brewers. We'll catch up on all the action that we'll have missed on the games that weren't streamed then. And then this Friday, right? You got, I won't be there sadly, but we have Instigate Success building an ABA franchise. So check it out. Appreciate everyone for watching. And until next time, be great and instigate. See you soon.